Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I have a few things to talk about. You'll see I have a lot of tabs open. I want to start by quickly looking at the markets, then talk a bit about Ripple, then go on to some Bitcoin price predictions for the next couple of years, and then just some other news that I thought were interesting. We're just gonna go through these articles together. Let's get this started. Let me just refresh this quickly. Looking at the markets today, first impression, it's looking rather bad because we see a lot of red. But if you give it a closer look, you will see most of these are under 1% down, and a few coins have managed to rise up a bit. Bitcoin ever so slightly up 0.12%. Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Stellar, Litecoin, Cardano down, Monero tiny bit up. But we don't see a single of the major coins more than 1.5% down, and if we move a bit lower, we even see the market very, very green, with Nano even going up 27%. So this isn't anything to worry about. We see Bitcoin dominance at about the same level it has been for a couple of days. We see the market cap 216 billion. We have certainly seen it worse just very recently, so this is still looking pretty good, and if we look at the movements, it's very much just going sideways. This is not going down, it's just sideways, so always hopeful about that kind of stuff. Let's move on. I have two Ripple stories here, and and here we just have a story. The story itself isn't all that interesting. I just thought it was important to note here that talking about something that Brad Garlinghouse said again, the Ripple CEO and the founder of the company. He said that we would see a lot of investments going into Ripple in the third quarter, which is going on right now, once their official report for the third quarter is out, and that there would be a lot of institutional investment coming in. Some people have been wondering why we don't see a lot happening with the price, why we don't see a lot happening on exchanges, and I just wanted to point that out quickly here. This article explains it. Let's just read out the quote from Garlinghouse quickly. One of the things I will tease for a future announcement within the Q3 market reports, which we always share, where we see institutional participation in buying XRP. Q3 will definitely be a record if institutional participation in buying and interest in holding XRP. He was saying this after about half of the quarter is over, so it looks like they have already sold as many XRP or more XRP than they've ever sold in a quarter in half a quarter. So we're going to see a huge number there. The reason this isn't reflected in the numbers we see in the money flowing through the markets is that these are over-the-counter purchases. These are bought directly. These do not go through exchanges. We don't see this happening until it is disclosed in an official statement. So that is something we should get soon. The article continues to quickly talk about some of the positive news around XRP. Let's read it out because positive news about XRP are always good. Most of this I already talked about in a previous video. The very positive wave of feeling around Ripple's token, especially lately. XRP started with David Schwartz and Ripple continuing to post and respond on Twitter and Ripple's website about the project and the decentralization of the ledger. And this is his quote. Bitcoin and Ethereum are currently viewed as the gold standard for decentralization. Since these blockchains are considered decentralized, then by design the XRP ledger is also, if not more so, decentralized than both Bitcoin and Ethereum. The smart yet often criticized POW protocol that runs on Ethereum's and Bitcoin's network was praised while noting out issues by the CTO. Mr. Schwartz mentioned how by time various miners can control the system significantly, making it more centralized than you want it to be. This is referring probably to Bitcoin currently having, I believe, 4 mining pools control more than 50% of the coins available, meaning those 4 mining pools are controlling the entire Bitcoin market. They are controlling Bitcoin. It is essentially centralized in those 4 mining pools. The Speedy network has been prized for its technological achievements by Wise Ratings many times via their social channel Twitter. They often mentioned do showcase one feeling of recommendation, and the low prices for the moment could be a golden opportunity to step in. Wise Ratings quote now a tweet. We think that the XRP is the fastest digital asset to transfer funds between exchanges. It only makes sense for Binance to use it as the base currency. Why should one have to go through an intermediary currency to trade crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins? With the team working hard on hoisting the decentralization of the coin while highlighting out that XRP is not a security, exchanges are attracted more to list it, which directly will bring more buyers in the game. Which there has been a lot of discussion about whether XRP is a security or not, with Ripple, I believe, always stating it is not. My view on this is that even if it does turn out to be security, that will only be a minor roadblock. Most traditional financial investments are securities, or at least a lot of them are. If you're buying stocks, if you're buying bonds, you are buying securities. The only real difference is that securities need to be traded on exchanges that have all the necessary legal requirements to trade those securities, meaning that crypto exchanges who want to deal in securities, if XRP is considered a security, will need to get to jump through some extra hoops. But ultimately, that will just take a couple of weeks or months, and after that, we will be trading it like anything else. Depending on which country you are on, it might get taxed differently or regulated differently. But in the end, securities are what is being traded in the financial market all the time. So even if XRP or any other token is a security, that itself shouldn't be a long-term real issue. Final quote here, another Vice Ratings tweet. The Ripple company plans on integrating all of Ripple's software products of XVIA, XCurrent, and XRapid into one convenient solution known as Convergence. It looks like a complete solution aimed at banks to push the XRP token on them. Maybe they'll bite? #crypto. This, of course, is all part of Ripple's main plan. The problem they are trying to solve is, of course, the SWIFT system being slow, being expensive, and costing the international monetary system $24 trillion a year. And as part of that, they want to make everyone use XRP tokens for international monetary transfers. Next up, another Ripple article. Ripple's VP, I hope I'm pronouncing this name correctly, Ashish Birla, says the company more concerned about international remittance. Let's just read this out quickly as well, because this is a relatively interesting article and it touches on some things. As it has been the case in recent times, CNBC's Crypto Trader, hosted by the always insightful and crypto adept Ran Neuner, I'm sorry, I'm very bad with names, always draws a lot of attention and interest. Yesterday, the man on focus was Ripple's Ashish Birla, who is the Senior Vice President of Product, and with Ran asking leading questions, the VP provided a lot of information about Ripple's objectives, drive, and how they think of their project. From news, Ran has previously said he no longer owns XRP, and he has officially thrown the third most valuable cryptocurrency down the garbage bin until the cloud around whether XRP is a utility or not is cleared by the SEC. Don't they mean security? Well, let's go on. The US main regulator and investor protector. During the interview, important questions surrounding XRP and Ripple were asked. Some of them range from whether XRP is decentralized or not, which we just talked about, if there was scarcity within the network, user case application of XRP, and if there were any XRP developers on at Ledger. When asked if XRP has any user case, especially on the products that Ripple, the company, were creating, Birla was quick to clarify that the company were more inclined towards providing seamless solutions when it comes to cross-border payment. He went ahead saying the company was passionate about easing cross-border remittance, and that has been the stand of Ripple since incorporation back in 2012. We are going back here at their number one aim, replacing SWIFT, becoming the new gold standard, and becoming the token that international banking uses. Wheeler also talked about XCurrent and XRapid, two of the three main projects of Ripple aside from XRP, which the company says helps mainly in communication between its interacting parties and in regulatory compliance. On XRapid, the VP of products insists that the product will mainly be used for on-demand liquidity, and institutions using XRapid must inculcate XRP. XRP is a creation of Ripple and allows for international and instantaneous transfer of value, unlike SWIFT. Now, of course, the difference being XCurrent just uses the Ripple technology, and XRapid uses that technology and the XRP token on top, and works even better than just XCurrent itself. So here we see one of the main people behind Ripple XRP, just once again pointing out what their core purpose is. And we know all this stuff. This is all well-known stuff. It's just always good to hear about it, to have someone say it, because it's important to keep in mind that is what Ripple is doing. Ripple are here to take over traditional banking, to turn everything on its head, to enable seamless, fast, cheap, secure international payments. And that is what they're focusing on, and it's good to see that that is really what they are paying attention to. Anything else is just extra. And now we are moving on. I wanted to talk about Bitcoin here, because I'm going to talk about some very bullish Bitcoin predictions that nonetheless I think are relatively realistic. I'm not sure what my own opinion about Bitcoin price in the near future is, but we're just going to talk about a few here. But one thing that I see over and over is the idea that Bitcoin needs to bottom out, needs to hit a low value and stay there for a while before it can shoot back up, and people are just disagreeing where that point is. So in this article, why some bulls expect Bitcoin to fall below $5,000 prior to a big rally, this article is just about that. For instance, they quote the Shapeshift CEO, Eric Voorhees, and the cryptocurrency investor Anthony Pompliano, that they also, sorry, I'm all over the place today. They quote both as saying that they think the price needs to continue falling a bit more, that the bear market is not over yet, but that we can expect a bull market after that. Noy, the CNBC crypto trader host, we just talked about him in another story. Voorhees and on CBC crypto trader hosted by Ran Neuer, Voorhees, who right here, the Shapeshift CEO. Shapeshift, of course, is a place where you can trade cryptocurrencies. It is included in Exodus, for instance. He said, "I don't expect the bear market to end soon, although I do think that at the rate of collapse, that the rate of collapse has slowed considerably. Generally, in these bubbles, after you go through several months of a downtrend, you hang out in a range for a while, but I think we're done with the majority of the collapse." This more or less mirrors what I have also said in previous videos. This is what the impression I get from looking at the market and from having watched it for just about 6 years. I've been in this game for a while. I'm sure a lot of you have been in it for a similar time. But we see this over and over. We saw this with every major price correction, with every major crash, and with every new bull run. We saw Bitcoin fall and fall and fall for months until it found a spot where it became stable, where the volatility dropped, and where it just traded within a narrow range for a while. And it looks like we might be at that range now, but some people are predicting that it will have to fall lower. Here, at the end of the article, some analysts see Bitcoin falling to 5, 4, or even 3,000 before recovering. But most of the analysts share the sentiment that Bitcoin will rebound to major resistance levels in the 10,000 to 15,000 range by the end of December. The predictions of most experts and analysts in the cryptocurrency space change on a regular basis, as it is difficult to speculate the exact region Bitcoin will fall to and recover from. It is important for investors to look at the midterm trend of Bitcoin, analyzing actual metrics like volume and market demand to foresee the future trend of Bitcoin. So here we have people being pretty hopeful, but expecting some additional falls to happen before we can rally up. Now, this will be very good for confidence, because we can't expect a proper bull market to begin before people are confident that Bitcoin is actually worth going back up. If there is too much uncertainty, if there are too many people who want to push the price lower, or if we feel it needs to be pushed lower, we don't really have hope in going back up. So this is what we're seeing here. The Bitcoin Cash BTCC is Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, the Bitcoin Cash founder thinks Bitcoin will go to 60,000 in the next couple of years. He said this on Twitter: "When Bitcoin passes the US dollar 60,000 price level in the coming years, it will reach a total circulation value of $1 trillion. That will be a huge milestone for Bitcoin, and it will lead to more price stability, higher global liquidity, and even faster adoption worldwide." Now, when he said this, he got a lot of criticism because a lot of people are very pessimistic about Bitcoin, and he clarified a few of the reasons. He said one of the reasons was the daily global output of new Bitcoin has gone up significantly. Another reason is that will be a milestone we have to hit because it's a big mental block. And one being that Bitcoin will, of course, halve again, and that more and more interest in the currency is around. So he is under the assumption that the daily demand for new Bitcoin coming into circulation in 2020 will be over $54 million a day. And using that as a basis, Bitcoin prices will be over 60,000. That is applying standard mathematical models, and that is his logic. Now, if you want to believe that or not, is up to you. We have seen Bitcoin at a fourth of that price, so it would not be unprecedented for it to go up to 60,000, in my opinion. It wouldn't be completely impossible. I do worry if Bitcoin will even still be the leading major cryptocurrency in 2020. Because Bitcoin is primarily around because it's the oldest, not because it's the most technologically advanced or has the best use cases. And I worry if the network will even be able to take much more movement. We have seen the entire network break down multiple times when a lot of people were buying. Next up, another article, once again about Bobby Lee. I like having multiple articles about the same thing, just to have more sources. And this one focuses on the fact that he says when Bitcoin reaches 60,000, not if Bitcoin reaches 60,000. All this does is shows us that the people involved high up, the people that have started their own altcoins, the people that are heavily involved in Bitcoin are hopeful, and that is a good sign for us. Like I keep saying, these people have more insider knowledge. These people have a better grasp of what the general feeling between like the higher ups is. And if they are hopeful, we should be at least cautiously hopeful as well, in my opinion. He also has a 20,000 prediction for 2018, which this one I am less certain about. A lot of people seem pretty certain that Bitcoin will be back at 10 to 15,000 before the end of the year, but if it will reach 20,000, I am much less certain about. There is some positive news about the Bitcoin price, though, and some reason to believe we will see, if not a bull run, at least a cautious uptick in the near future, and that is the Bitcoin sell-off being apparently over, and technical signs as well as many investors saying so. Another article from BTC. Let's take a quick look. Experts and major investors believe the bear market is coming to an end. Sorry, I keep wanting to say beer. Yoni Asia, CEO of eToro, which more than 8 million users, said the correction in 2018 was healthy, and once again echoing the same thoughts that a lot of people have, that it had to drop a while before it can go back up, but that it will be a sign of long-term growth. Matti Greenspan, I think Matti is his name, another analyst also at eToro, said the demand for Bitcoin at large cryptocurrency exchanges and trading platforms has not declined, meaning a lot of people still do want to buy, and a lot of people are getting into the market at these low prices. That, of course, is a massive sign that people expect the prices to shoot up. You're not buying unless you think you can make money, so interest not having fallen means that the same number of people that were always in the market, more people than were always in the market, expect the prices to rise soon. That is very good momentum to have. We just have to wait for it to bubble over. Now there's some more here about exchanges doing well. We have talked about this in other videos, that exchanges were actually doing better than in any previous years, that more money is being made by crypto trading than ever before despite the prices down, that more people are trading, that more people are getting onto these markets. Those are all good signs for long-term price development. And even if we don't see a 20,000 Bitcoin this year, I think it's very, very likely that we will be over 10,000 again very soon. Hopefully Ripple will be dragged along and XRP will also hit $1 or more again, but we know it's happening. And some just random stories that I thought were interesting. Japan's Financial Services Agency chief says no to excessive crypto regulation. Of course, Japan is one of the big crypto markets, and earlier this year they tightened some regulation, but now Toshihide Endo, the new regulating chief, says that they are not planning to tighten cryptocurrency regulations any further. They say they're just trying to keep people from being defrauded, and further than that, they believe in the potential of cryptocurrencies and don't think that it needs to be further restricted. Of course, all these links will be in the description, so if you want to read any of these articles, go there. I'm just giving a very quick rundown, and because this video is already pretty long, I have way too many articles open, and I don't want to make an hour-long video. But I just want to share these things with you guys, because you might have missed them. One more. And this is something more negative. Several top exchanges caught faking volume. Now, once again, if you've watched a few of my videos, you know how important I think the image of the cryptocurrency market is. I think we need to look, well, we don't need to look, we need to be a fair, secure, legal, not fraudulent market in order for any real faith in the market to appear, in order for more people to get into the market, in order for institutional investors to have trust and faith in the market. And these news really hurt us. A report has appeared in which several big cryptocurrency exchanges have been found faking trading volumes. The report was made by the Blockchain Transparency Institute, whose stated mission in this research was to provide better transparency for the cryptosphere on true exchange volumes. BTI's report implicates several top 100 exchanges as previously listed on CoinMarketCap, whose rankings do not include research or findings on fake trading numbers. Those that it implicates include Buybox, Rebox, ZB, BitZ, and Lbank. These exchanges are accused of using wash trading, putting up buy orders that correspond exactly with sell orders to influence the total number of coins traded using the exchange. The reason they're doing this is simple. They want to be seen as bigger exchanges than they are. On CoinMarketCap and on similar websites, you can look up the trading volume of individual exchanges, and people tend to want to use exchanges that have a high trading volume because that means you will be able to find trading partners quicker. That means you'll be able to make profits quicker. That means you're more likely to even find the sell and buy orders you want at all, and you probably will get better conditions there as well. So it's understandable why they're faking this, but this is still, it's fraud. That's what it is. And having this associated with the crypto market is not good at all. Now, thankfully, none of the really, really big exchanges that everyone knows were implicated, but this is still very bad news. And oh, please stop doing this. Oh, be honest. Like, cryptocurrencies are still seen as a cesspool of fraud and hype and bubbles and all the bad things and crime by a lot of people. And we need to show them that we're better than this. We want cryptos to take over. We want cryptos to be the defining financial institutions in the near future. And this will only happen if we can recover our image. So this is so bad. And I just hope this won't happen with any more. And last but not least, BAT, Brave browser, attains 10 million downloads. Now, this is actually the browser I'm using right now, which, for instance, blocks a lot of tracker scripts. It can do automatic HTTPS upgrades. It blocks fingerprinting, ads, cookies. But the important thing is that Brave is a browser that directly integrates a cryptocurrency token, namely the basic attention token BAT, which then can be used to pay websites that you're using, to pretty much donate to them. And it has now hit a milestone of 10 million downloads on the Google Play Store. Now, this is not only a mobile phone browser, it is also available on computers and available both on Android and I believe also on iOS. So between 10 million downloads on Google Play and countless downloads on computer and iOS, BAT is becoming a big player in the browser space. And this is very good news. 3 million active users, it says here. Very, very, very good news, because this is not just a small new project taking on the big ones, with I believe a lot of former Firefox staff is actually involved with Brave, but it's also a cryptocurrency token that is being introduced to a lot of people. When you install Brave, you actually get an explanation about BAT, you get asked if you want to start using it, and you pretty much have an automatic wallet on your computer the moment you download this. So this is great. This is mainstream adoption. I'm always talking about mainstream adoption. I'm always sharing news about mainstream adoption because this is what we need. We need to be in there. We need to be in the mainstream. We need to be in every different array we can be in. And Brave being such a successful new internet browser when the market is being dominated by Chrome, Firefox, is very good. And I think that is where I'm gonna end the video today. As I just said, all the articles in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. My subscriber count has actually doubled today. That is insane. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do tell me what you think about these stories in the comments. Where do you think the prices will go? Does this stuff excite you as much as it excites me? And if you want to support the channel, leaving comments, leaving likes, subscribing is very good. There's also an XRP donation address in the description if you want to help like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon.